offensive side of the ball on the line, and switching to the defensive side of the line, you bring in Paul Baker from Zeeland East, Martell Dukes also from Michigan Collegiate High School down in Warren, Brad Meredith from Utica Ford High School, Davian Mitchell from St. Joseph High School, again, Southwest Michigan, and then Kyle Reddy from Gibraltar Carlson High School, downriver Detroit.
If you look at that group, it's a big group. Obviously, you could see where we had our intentions in this recruiting class. I think if you look at football as a whole, and you look at the games coming up that are still left on the NFL schedule, the defensive linemen have become the glory position, I think, on the football field. And the teams with the best front four, in our case, are going to be very good on defense. And all these guys fit that mold, JJ. You know, Paul Baker was really, really good off the edge. We're going to move him and play him at tackle, and he's going to grow into a tackle. He's got the frame for it. Explosive player that was very productive. If you look at Martell Dukes, was a linebacker, an oversized linebacker in high school. So he's athletic. He's a strong player. I think he'll fit in well on our front. Brad Meredith is a really big, tall, prototypical defensive tackle, defensive end in our league, and I think he's got the ability to play any of those front four positions and play it well. The great story around Brad is his dad played at Michigan for Bo Schembechler, so we know we've got a guy that's got the genetics to get big and do the things that it takes to be a great defensive lineman. The other guy is Davion Mitchell from the west side of the state, St. Joseph. We watched him on film and made a ton of plays. He was extremely productive, very active, big-time motor, and a big guy. And you look at what it takes to play tackle in this league, and Davion's got that size to get even bigger and make an impact at tackle. And then you've got Kyle Reddy out of Gibraltar Carlson, and that's a great story. His coach, Kent Sikora, played here at Saginaw Valley, played for George Eiler and Jerry Kill, and really aided us in the process of identifying him as an outstanding impact player. And we're excited about Kyle. I think he's an off-the-edge guy, a very similar type of player to what Brandon Williams did for us this year. An impact as a pass rusher, very strong against the run, very active, very athletic.
Moving to the linebacker spot, you bring in two there. One, a local product, Clay Henderson out of Saginaw Valley, who was an all-state linebacker for them, and then Brian Jones, an all-state linebacker as well from Schoolcraft High School, and was the Kalamazoo Gazette's Player of the Year for Divisions 5 through 8. Well,
just like a lot of these guys, now right there at that position, those are two of the best linebackers in the state. And Clay Henderson, a local guy, played on a team that lost one game in the last 2 years. Pretty dang good. Won the state championship this year. Led his team in tackles, was the leader of their defense, had an outstanding football season, expecting big things out of him. And then Brian Jones, as you said, the player of the year in his area, very athletic, great size. Both of them are what you're looking for in linebackers. They can run to the football, they can hit, and they proved how athletic they are. Henderson played a little bit of tight end on offense, made some plays on offense. You see Brian Jones played on the state champion in basketball and played a big role in that. So these are athletic guys that are physical and hard-nosed.
Brian Jones says his idol is Lamar Woodley of the Pittsburgh Steelers, formerly of Saginaw High, so he's going to get to play in Lamar's backyard.
It's going to be exciting. And, I go back to a lot of these guys, and when you bring up Brian, it sticks out. Here are guys that aren't just picking our university because of the program and the tradition of our football team, but they're picking it based on the academics. And, Brian specifically sat down with one of our professors, and that was a big part of him wanting to come here to Saginaw Valley, sitting down with Sally Decker in the nursing department and really finding out if this was the school for him in that regard. And him and his parents were very impressed. So, I mentioned we talk a lot about the football side of things, but these young men are picking our school because we've got outstanding academics, and it really fits what their future goals are.
When one of those stands out to me when we talk about the defensive backs, you bring in four there. Ross Ebels from Zeeland East, Leighton Mandel from Fenton High School, Jared Motley from Okemos, and Trey Scott from Dublin Kaufman down in Ohio. I ran into Trey, as you know, on his recruiting visit, and he's just here marveling at the overall campus and taking photos on his phone to be able to go back and show his parents because he was so impressed again with the university, not just with the football program.
Exactly, and he's going to major in our health sciences area, and obviously the new building over there is outstanding and very impressive. And he also had the opportunity to meet President Gilbertson on his visit, as well as you, JJ, and was extremely impressed with everything he saw here on his visit that day. He's an impact player, no doubt. He did it all for them, returned kicks, made a lot of big plays on defense. He's physical, goes up and gets the ball well. He's got great ball skills, played both ways as a receiver and a defensive back. Fits in what we look for out of a corner and a safety, as the other two guys as well. Jared Motley, same thing. Okemos down in the Lansing area, a bigger guy, a physical impact, explosive player, could play corner, could play safety, has the physicality to be a safety, but also has cover skills and ball skills to play a corner. And then Ross Ebels, really, really fast, explosive, big-time vertical. Was a hard hitter, played on both sides. You see him running the ball on his highlight tape, and that's impressive, but you also see him making a lot of big plays on defense. So those three guys are really cut out of a corner and safety mold. And then Leighton Mandel is more of an outside linebacker, strong safety type. And the neat story about Leighton is his dad played here on the 1983 GLIAC championship team, was the starting quarterback on that team. And Leighton's cut out of the same mold. He's got a great frame. He's going to get bigger. He's going to grow into a linebacker-sized player, physical, and has a great upside. His best days are definitely ahead of him.
Moving down the list, we also have a punter and a tight end to talk about. First, the punter, Kyle Swales from Lapeer West High School.
Well, we had to get a punter. That was a priority. I thought Avery Steinlege did a great job for us at the end of the year, but we wanted to get a full-time punter that concentrated on punting, and Kyle Swales fits the bill. He was up near 45 yards as an average. Also played receiver, so he's an athletic guy, but he's coming here to punt and focused on punting, and we think he's got great technique, and we think he's going to develop into a great punter in our league, and we're excited about having him.
And then Mike Saba, who played quarterback for Utica Ford High School, but you're bringing him here to convert him to tight end.
Well, Saba, the great story about him is we recruited him since last summer, and really excited about him as a competitor. And you could see it, on that football team, when you watched the video or you saw him in person, he was out there competing, doing whatever it takes. And a lot of it was running with the football, tucking it and taking off and running over people and trying to take over a game offensively. With his size and strength and explosiveness, we think he could be the type of tight end that fits well into our offense, a guy that can go out, catch the football, the short pass, get vertical. He's got the speed to do that, but he's also a very strong physical guy. And once we get him under our tutelage and teach him, what it takes to be a great blocker, he definitely has the tenacity to do it, and the footwork, the balance, the strength, and the power. Once we teach him the technique, I think he's going to be a great one.
You go through this list, and even though it's a relatively small class compared to some years prior, there isn't a position group that you missed.
Exactly, and we knew we had to cover all the positions. And the important thing in recruiting is to make sure you bring guys that you can project, whether it's immediately, a year, 2 or 3 years down the road, but at some point they're going to have to step in there and help you win football games and make an impact and a contribution. And I think when you look at this class, every single one of these guys, we're very confident is going to be able to fulfill that role. In whatever capacity it is, when they get their opportunity, they got to go out on that field and help you win, and we think these guys can do that.
Any closing thoughts that you'd have for what this recruiting process was like and what this does now getting you set for the 2012 season?
Well, the interesting thing right now is with the way our league is set up with North and South divisions, there's a lot of competition, and you've got to work harder than ever, and you've got to sell your program, you've got to sell your school, you've got to sell your academics. And as I said at the beginning, I really credit our staff with going out and working hard and putting in the hours and fighting the battles, because that's what you got to do. You got to battle in the recruiting process. At the end of the day, I think we brought in great people for our program, character individuals that are going to be a great fit for the university, are going to make the university proud, and these are guys that fit that mold. They're going to walk across that stage and get their degree, and they're going to win championships for us.
Well, we certainly hope that. We'll start coming up in the fall of 2012. Coach Collins, good luck and good job on another fine recruiting class.
Thanks, JJ.
And we thank you for joining us, and we hope you have enjoyed this special signing day edition of SVSU Red Alert.